Elon Musk's drug scandal just went from bad to catastrophic, and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett absolutely destroyed him on live TV. With receipts, rage, and righteous sarcasm, she tore into the chaos Musk left behind and exposed how his so-called oversight mission was really just a tech billionaire smoke bomb. And it all starts with the brutal reality behind Musk's so-called budget cuts.
Doge cuts have certainly been sweeping. According to a New York Times analysis, Doge has cut 99% of personnel at broadcaster Voice of America and USAID, as well as nearly half the workforce at the Department of Education and nearly a quarter of employees at HHS. As for the $2 trillion in savings Musk promised last fall, it's just $175 billion as of this week, according to Doge's website. Although the website has a history of dubious information, for instance, it claimed $8 billion in savings from a contract that was actually just $8 million and posted, quote unquote, receipts that saved no money. And there's no real evidence of the fraud Musk has pledged to find. The so-called fraud Doge touted was either previously uncovered or wildly overblown. Joining us now is the Congresswoman from Texas, Jasmine Crockett, who serves on the House Doge Subcommittee. Congresswoman, welcome to the weekend. So just your thoughts on Elon Musk and his departure from Washington.
Hallelujah is what I gotta say. Is it Sunday? Let us all give thanks to the good Lord above. Listen, let me tell you something. He is gone, but the Musk is still going to linger in the air. We know, as you went through in your intro, that there are so many people that have been impacted by these ridiculous and not thought out cuts. And it's not just the federal workers. It's those constituents of ours, our citizens, that are being impacted the hardest by these cuts. And so here it is. You basically let this guy run wild. And honestly, I feel like all of the cuts to federal employees, that was nothing more than a distraction for the things that he really wanted to do, which is to make sure that there was no oversight over his companies, the companies that were under investigation. This was to kind of keep us busy and distracted. And unfortunately, in the process, we have harmed our federal government, and ultimately, we are harming our overall economy.
Jasmine Crockett just dropped a truth bomb, and it's echoing all the way from Capitol Hill to Musk's Twitter bunker. She's not just celebrating Musk's exit like it's Easter Sunday. She's torching the wreckage he left behind. Massive job cuts, phantom savings, fake receipts that belong in a bad Etsy shop, not federal accounting. And the kicker, this wasn't about saving money, it was about saving himself from oversight. Classic billionaire smokescreen. But don't think for a second Jasmine's done here. Oh no, this was just her warm-up round. She's far from over.
Congresswoman, like you said, the damage has already been done. The people have been fired. A lot of those changes have been made. Is there any reason for folks to anticipate that at some point the Congress or someone will be able to claw back some of these jobs and policies that people really need around the country?
I mean, would you really want to work for the federal government at this moment? I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. In reality, we have been down as it relates to some of our federal workforce anyway. This is one reason that the Biden-Harris administration invested so much money in the Inflation Reduction Act when it came to the IRS, because they wanted to make sure that those people that were best trained to do those complicated audits of people's taxes, basically the very, very rich, making sure that we had the best of the best to make sure that we could bring in additional income. In addition to that, while we've been talking about the reconciliation package and we've been talking about the cuts and how many people are going to potentially lose their health care or how many people are going to lose food off of their tables, one of the things that we've not been able to do, because there's, again, still so much in this terrible bill, is talk about things that happened in the Oversight Committee, such as deciding that they don't want federal government employees to have the protections that the federal court has acknowledged and said, hey, you've got to reinstate these federal employees. Instead, they want to change federal employees to at will. So a lot of the things that once attracted people to want to come and work for the federal government, they are disappearing as well as making them pay more into their furs. So it's absolutely insane, and nobody wants to come work for us right now.
Let's just take a second here. Jasmine Crockett isn't holding back. She's basically saying, who in their right mind would want to work for the federal government when it's being run like a clearance sale startup? The pay, worse. The protections, gutted. The benefits, evaporating faster than Musk's dignity on Capitol Hill. And while the Biden-Harris team tried to patch the IRS, Musk and his genius gang were busy torching federal jobs and turning civil service into a chaotic episode of Survivor DC Edition. The goal? Make government so dysfunctional that oversight vanishes, and billionaires can dance through loopholes without consequences. Jasmine's telling us this wasn't mismanagement, it was deliberate sabotage, and sadly they didn't just slash jobs, they slashed trust. But don't think for a second that Crockett's done talking. Nope. While Congress takes its little summer nap, she's still out here calling out the chaos. And up next, Elon Musk posts something so cringe, so weird, you'll almost think he's trying to prove her point.
Elon wrote on Twitter, also, to be clear, I am not taking drugs. The New York Times was lying their ass off. I tried prescription ketamine a few years ago and said so on X. So this is not even news. It helps for getting out of dark mental holes, but haven't taken it since then.
Oh, Elon. This man lies like he's getting paid per syllable. Because according to Elon himself and the now infamous Don Lemon interview, this isn't just a years ago experiment. It's an ongoing situation. This isn't breaking news. It's breaking reality. We've got documented proof that Musk has been casually dosing ketamine from himself. And no, not in a yoga retreat in Bali, while simultaneously managing rocket launches, electric cars, and apparently federal employee layoffs. And let's not forget those lovely bladder incidents on the campaign trail, because nothing says fit to lead like tweaking on stage and needing an adult diaper. But here's where it gets really dystopian. Musk's companies, the ones gobbling up billions in taxpayer cash, are legally prohibited from having leadership impaired by illegal substances. So if anyone else were caught doing this, there would be subpoenas flying out of the sky faster than SpaceX rockets. But since it's Musk, the media shrugs. And that is the media's favorite game. Yell about Biden tripping on a sandbag, while ignoring Elon Musk hallucinating in a corner of the Pentagon. Meanwhile, Trump, the man actually suffering from cognitive implosion, gets a total free pass for forgetting what planet he's on. So yeah, Jasmine Crockett had it. And she wasn't about to let another Elon meltdown slip through the cracks. She's here to drag the focus back where it belongs. And trust me, what she says next, it's brutal.
Congresswoman, yesterday in the Oval Office, it didn't exactly sound like Trump and Elon Musk were completely breaking up. He sounded like he might still be lingering in some unofficial capacity. Yet, he had to end his special. He was at the final day as a special employee. How is the House Oversight Committee going to keep holding Doge and Elon Musk accountable?
You said keep. We never started. Doge was just a little pet project for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be able to say, hey, they gave me something. I've got a gavel. And so, the last Doge hearing that we had, it was on trans folk doing fencing. We were talking to people that don't get any federal dollars whatsoever, and dealing with that. We have a Doge subcommittee hearing coming up, and it's to talk about NGOs and basically to go after them. We have had a hearing on PBS and talk about why it's important to quote unquote defund PBS. We've not dealt with those things. We have tried to subpoena Elon Musk before. The Republicans did not want to do that. I don't know why you wouldn't want to have your main man come in and tell us about all the great work that he's doing, unless he absolutely isn't doing any great work.
Jasmine Crockett just took a blowtorch to the whole oversight charade, and honestly, it's giving reality check. Turns out Doge wasn't some noble watchdog committee. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene's little vanity project. Basically a toy gavel and a platform for anti-trans fencing drama. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, he's been dodging subpoenas like he's Neo in the Matrix, and Republicans are too starstruck to care. Forget accountability. They haven't even started. But Jasmine, she's not just spilling tea, she's pouring the whole kettle. And finally, we're getting a real view of how many see Elon, and it ain't flattering.
So listen, I think that unfortunately, we're going to have to wait until the Democrats are in the majority, which will hopefully be in the midterms. And then we can absolutely bring Elon Musk in and we can have him under oath and we can have him tell us about everything that he did. Because as I've been home this week, to hear from my seniors that are concerned and don't have answers about how much information he had access to and what he did with that sensitive information, they are scared.
Jasmine Crockett is spelling it out, plain and sharp. There's no real accountability for Elon until Democrats take back control. And when they do, she wants Musk under oath. No more Twitter rants, no more dodging. Because guess what? Regular Americans, especially seniors, are terrified. Not because he launched another car into space, but because no one knows what kind of classified info Elon had access to, or what he did with it while he was cosplaying Government Employee of the Month. And just when it couldn't get weirder, Elon drops a bizarre clip, and Jasmine, she reacts instantly with laughing.
Congresswoman, have a listen to what Elon Musk had to say in an interview on Tuesday about his thoughts on the so-called big, beautiful bill that was passed by the House.
I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing. I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both.
Congresswoman, I have no question. Just hold forth.
Listen, I mean, I'm not necessarily besties with Elon, but when I can agree, I'm just going to agree because it's just the truth. The reality is that we saw when this bill passed the House, which it barely made it over the finish line, 215 to 214, we know that there were 2 Republicans that somehow went MIA. We know that 2 Republicans voted with us, and then we know that 1 Republican just voted present. And let me just tell you, even if a Republican voted with us, it wasn't for the same reasons, okay? But we got to the same result, which is that this is a big, bad bill, okay? And their reasons for saying, you know what, we're not going to vote for this is because they still want to raise the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. And so what I have explained to people is that the cuts that they want to give to the rich folk in this country are so deep that even after cutting almost 14 million people off their health care and cutting over $300 billion out of SNAP benefits, as well as all the other ugly stuff. And we don't talk about the fact that they want to have this big chunk of money so that ICE agents can get approximately $42,000 a piece in a bonus. So we had money that was going up for crazy stuff. And then we also, of course, had to set aside enough money so that somebody could go golfing. I believe that the number may be $1 billion or so over the 4 years for him to be able to go golfing. This doesn't really make sense. And frankly, nobody has asked for these things to be their priorities. But there are fiscal, responsible Republicans that are saying, listen, I don't think they really care about the cuts, but they absolutely care about the fact that we still are needing to lift the debt ceiling and honestly have nothing to show for it.
Elon Musk tried to roast the spending bill with a dad joke, calling it too big to be beautiful, but somehow forgetting he helped set the House on fire. Then Jasmine Crockett stepped in and basically said, yeah, Elon, for once you're not totally wrong, but let's be clear, this bill isn't just bad. It's a Frankenstein of GOP wish lists. We're talking healthcare cuts, food assistance gutted, and $42,000 ICE agent bonuses. And let's not forget, someone snuck in a golf fund worth $1 billion. The hypocrisy is Olympic level. And just wait, Jasmine's not done. Another brutal clip is coming up next.
As Mr. Whitson said, he said, we need to return the power of the purse to Congress. It never left. According to the Constitution, that's where it's at. Now, I know that people are confused right now because for whatever reason, we had a guy that went in and you talk about people invading our data. Listen, people said that they were upset about TikTok, but I'm upset about the guy that runs Twitter, who for sure is doing nefarious things, because I don't understand, if you are trying to conduct audits and figure out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is, I don't know why you would go to some tech guy. In fact, it was only techies that were sitting there at inauguration. We didn't have auditors. I would welcome auditors to come in and do forensic audits. In fact, he sat there in the Oval Office yesterday and he admitted that he was lying, and he was using his propaganda machine to do it when he said that we sent millions of dollars to Gaza for condoms. That was a lie. So let me tell you something.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
It's time for
the
us
gentlelady's
to do our
time has
jobs
expired.
and rein in this rogue actor known
The gentlelady's
as
time has expired.
Jasmine Crockett just delivered a mic-dropping finale that deserves to be played on loop. She's calling out the real data invasion, not TikTok, but the tech bro who literally parked himself in the Oval Office and played government like it was one of his apps. Forget audits. This wasn't oversight, it was cosplay. And instead of qualified experts, Musk brought his little tech squad to sniff out fraud, while he was the one spreading misinformation from the president's desk. Millions for condoms in Gaza, a flat-out Ellie, straight from Elon's propaganda factory. Jasmine isn't just fact-checking, she's body-slamming the whole operation, and with her against the chaos, you can feel the floor shake. If you want more truth bombs, takedowns, and chaos breakdowns, hit that like, smash, subscribe, and get ready, because the next video, let's just say, Trump's in it, and it's unbelievable.